In this video, I'm going to show you what it's like to get started on preparing for maintenance foods as part of the food allergy program that we're currently undergoing. I'm going to show you what we're doing to get organized in order to ensure success in this program, especially if you're a working parent and you're wondering what could make your day a little bit easier to comply with the requirements of the program. It is mail day, and here we are ordering all of our stuff on Amazon as much as we can. All the seeds that the program had required, fortunately, we were able to find on Amazon. We have two kids on the program, and both of them have different food allergies, and so therefore, our protocol is different for each kid. One of the biggest things I was concerned about regarding ordering seeds for certain brands is that there is cross contamination with different allergens, and so I was able to find through a lot of research that the Gerbs brand is actually free of the top 14 allergens, and they're also packaged in a dedicated facility. So I ordered two of the seeds that we needed. I ordered from Gerbs, and also they can be found on Amazon. Because we had to get organized, we had to make sure that we ordered all the right stuff for our organizational needs, make things efficient and also consistent. So here's my dishwasher. It looks like it's been invaded by a bunch of tiny small containers, but they're needed for the program. So here we are. So the washing stuff, obviously not the fun part of it. The drying a million little containers, not very fun either, but we need to do it right so we don't get moldy seeds. So I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Every kid has a different food allergy profile, and the great thing about the Southern California Food Allergy Institute is that they take the time to analyze each kid and take their allergens into consideration. And so this one specifically was made for us based on the results that they got from testing our children. And so I wouldn't just say that this is all a one size fits all approach. My older child is actually the more allergic kid compared to my younger child, and we were actually informed by the doctor that she is one of the more allergic kids in the program, meaning she has more anaphylactic food groups, and so she will be in the program for a much longer time than my second child. What we're doing here is we're actually preparing their maintenance foods for each kid. And so maintenance foods basically is something that you give to each kid every day. They have a quantity that they tell you for each food, and so you go by that quantity that you can feed them daily. So for the seeds, they'll actually tell you whether they need it crushed. And so for this one, chia, they did want it crushed, so I'm crushing it with a mortar and pestle. As you notice, I'm crushing larger batches so that I don't have to do this on a daily basis. I'm storing the excess seeds that were crushed in a jar that I can seal off, so it'll stay fresh until the next batch that I'll be transferring in the small containers. After preparing each seed, I make sure to wipe off the countertop to make sure that there's no cross-contamination. So for this one, I just use a dry cloth to wipe it off just because I know my son is not anaphylactic to chia seeds. If I am concerned of cross-contamination due to reaction, I will use soap and make sure that the countertop is dry before I start with my next seed. So for my daughter, she has coconut flour and chia seed on her maintenance dose. And so basically I combined them both in one container and labeled it, as well as made sure that we picked one color for her just because I didn't want to accidentally use my son's dose for her, because some of the things that my son is eating, my daughter is actually anaphylactic to. And so trying to error proof the process as much as we can. Of course, other than the color coding, we also bought a labeler so we can label her name in there. And so my husband or myself, who's giving her the dosing, hopefully would notice that the name is different on the container. And of course, the colors are different. So that should help airproof the process. So I batch transfer the chia seeds into the small container first, and now I'm adding coconut flour. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm just adding the chia seeds and the coconut flour into one container so that in the morning when I give them their maintenance dose, I can just combine both and add it to either yogurt or applesauce. So my son's maintenance dose, he's starting out with sunflower seeds and flax. With sunflower seeds, it's so much easier to use the Ninja to do the crushing. So we're gladly using the Ninja to do all the work. Again, I'm transferring my crushed sunflower into an airtight container, like a jar that I can seal, so I can maintain the freshness until I have to refill my small containers again for the next 16 days. And so same thing, we're just measuring it and putting them in the containers, and hopefully we should be good for about 16 days. And our morning can be plug and go. So when we start school, we're not going to be too late coming in with all the different things we have to feed our kids before they go to school. On top of the maintenance food, we also have some recommended foods, and those foods they can eat 3 to 5 times a week, and it's somewhat different for each kid, even though they do share some commonalities. So what they do is they actually make sure that the foods that they are allergic to, they're consuming biosimilar foods, so basically food relatives of the foods they're anaphylactic to, so that they can build up to eating their anaphylactic food later on in the program. So it's just getting their body used to seeing those components. Recommended foods include stone fruits for those with nut allergies. So here's our choice stone fruits for the next 2 weeks. Eventually, we're going to start with treatment foods in the program. They may be going easy on us just because we're new. If you got to this point of the video, thank you for watching, and I wish you the very best on your own journey.